What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today, I want to talk to the anonymous subscribers. I want to talk to y'all. I want to talk to the viewers, to the audiences who tune in every day to entertain yourselves with YouTubers who make videos, who make content. And what I want to tell some of you, not all of you, because of the way I built my channel, I have really good, my baseline subscribers, the people who come, every day to hear what I got to say. My baseline subscribers are mature. They're older, mature, highly educated individuals, right? Highly intelligent, right? So we tend to have very good conversations. We tend to be able to comprehend high-level, complex conversations and topics, right? If you think about my name, Afro Think Tank, if you know what a think tank is usually a group of people who get together to try to solve a problem or solve a collection of problems by bringing the best minds together, and talk about the issues, right? And those issues can be tumultuous, right? The conversations can be heated, right? But at the end of the day, everybody's trying to come up with a solution to the problem, right? And what I'm finding out, right? And I'm mainly talking, like I said, I'm talking to subscribers, people who don't subscribe but watch, right? The people who are hiding behind their screens when they're in the comment section, right? And the issue we have in here is you guys forget, right, that the content creators are also human beings. Everybody is just a regular dude and do that on the internet, right? This is not TV. This is not reality TV, right? Now I know YouTube is the biggest. YouTube has actually surpassed Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff for viewership. So if you're on YouTube and you're a content creator, you are literally on the same line as old media now, right? YouTube used to be looked at as a joke, but now it's being taken seriously because the world has to. So if you're a content creator and you have any level of success, you may not be as rich as the old former actors on TV, right? At the moment, depending on what you do, but you are, for all intents and purposes, you're a main character, and you got your own show, and it's your own production, and YouTube is the distributor, right? And see, so when we're having, especially in Black YouTube, very small, right? It's a very small sector, and we don't get pushed very often unless we're destroying each other, right? We don't get pushed very often unless white people can see that we can demonstrate that we know how to tear each other down, right? And if we don't tear each other down, the white algorithm don't care, right? So it's hard to make content on the Black sector unless you participate in certain genres, all right? And so there's all kind of genres within Black YouTube, Black social media that we all try to get in, right? And we all got different positions and different thoughts and ideas on what we think we should do. And keep in mind, we're all just regular people who has decided not to be afraid to turn the camera on and tell the world what they think about a thing, right? That's why any YouTuber that shows their face, they get the utmost respect for me. Because it's not easy. Because the thing is, when you show your face, right, and you walking around and you doing things, there's a good possibility, right, that somebody that don't like you can find you. You understand? And there's a good possibility, right? Because when we come here every day, when I look at my analytics and I see how many millions of views or how many hundreds of thousands of people seeing me this month, right? That's 100,000 people, faces I don't know. I don't know where they are. I don't know if I'm walking past them, and I don't know how they feel about me. I don't know if they didn't like one of my videos and they want to take that shit out on me, right? Based off what I say. That's a risk every YouTuber takes when they show their face on the internet. So it's dangerous. Why do you think celebrities have goddamn security? Because they are celebrity, because people see them, right? They're high profile. Us YouTubers, we ain't got no goddamn money for no goddamn security for the most part. So we doing this, getting all the accolades, and we got none of the security, right? And some of you subscribers who are very comfortable, right, participating in the videos, participating in comment sections, participating with the discourse between the different groups, different ideologies, you guys get out of hand. You guys make it toxic. You guys start making threats. You guys threaten people's lives. You guys think we're video game characters. And a lot of you guys think we're avatars for your insecurities. You think we're avatars for the things you pissed off about. You want to take your anger and use us to disseminate your anger about an issue, right? And some of you guys actually get mad when we don't satisfy you by doing what it is you want us to do. Like, for instance, me having a discourse with O'Shea. You guys seem to be under the impression that just because I can passionately argue with O'Shea about ideas or about methods and this and that and names, y'all think he is supposed to be my actual enemy. Y'all think that when we interact, I'm supposed to cuss him out and flip out, and I'm supposed to hurt him. Y'all want me to use my abilities to try to hurt him so that you can be satiated when you watch. That's why a lot of y'all tune in to watch debates. Y'all want to see who's going to cuss each other out. Y'all want to see who's going to crash out on each other. Y'all don't actually want to see, and I'm talking about the ones I'm talking about. Y'all don't want to see actual productive conversations. I actually have people get mad at me for having a productive conversation with O'Shea instead of crashing out on him, instead of cussing him out, instead of making a big scene so that the anonymous subscriber in the back can be like, yeah, Afro think they fucked his ass up. Yeah, he did this. Why would I want to do that? The point of having a conversation is to come up with a solution. The point of having a conversation when two people have opposing views is to lay out the views on the table, be transparent. So even if we don't change our minds on our views, at least we know where each other come from, right? So, like, for instance, there's other people who make content about me, right? There's other YouTubers, there's FBA content creators who make videos about me. They don't like what I'm saying. They don't like that I disparage the name FBA. They don't like that I come on here every day and talk about their leader, Tariq Nasheed. They don't like that I call their leader, because they don't like people calling their leader, because, you know, they're subservient to him, therefore they must attack on his behalf, right? But I don't mind it because that's part of the game. I actively talk trash about FBA, right? And if you notice, I talk trash, right? I'm very passionate. I throw jokes in there. The reason why I throw jokes and I smile and laugh is because no matter what, they still black. Yes, to me and to most people, they're lost. To me, to most people, their ideology is based around propaganda. To me, I'm fighting the thoughts in their head, not them. They are not the enemy physically. Their ideas are the enemy. I want to destroy their ideas. Tariq Nasheed, to me, he's the enemy of black people. Idealistically, not physically. I don't want anything to happen to Tariq. Tariq also puts his face out there every day, even though he's doing his thing, right? It can be dangerous for him. Somebody can be like, I don't like that dude. And they can walk up to him. His face is more well known than a lot of us. So he might need security. He might have to live in a gated community because he can't quite walk around. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people who don't like him. There's people who don't like O'Shea. He can't, you know, if he comes back to America and walk around, what if somebody don't like him? What if a woman sees him and she packing a little 22 or something and decide to take a couple shots? This shit happens. I think just a couple years ago, I think it was last year, there was two YouTubers having arguments. And it wasn't even like nothing that was like earth-shattering serious. But one disrespected the other. And then the other found him in Vegas while he was walking with his girl and shot him in front of everybody. Dude was so pissed off, he killed that guy in front of everybody. It was on camera. The girlfriend was standing right there and watched her boyfriend get murdered by another YouTuber. Because you got some people who are insane, right? Now, I don't mind having discourse with YouTube. I don't mind YouTubers talking shit about me. Hell, if I'm gonna talk shit, they should be able to talk shit. That's fair. That's the arena, right? But it has to go to a certain point. Some of you guys are real hateful, right? And some of you subscribers turn into YouTubers and become hateful, right? There are some YouTubers who, like, the way I assess whether I'm going to engage in discourse with them is I'll listen to them, right? And let's say they're opposed to me. I'll listen to them to see if they got a decent personality. Because a lot of people who are against me, they have a decent personality, but to me, they're missing some information, and because of that, they believe a certain thing. My goal is to defeat that thing that they believe and get them to turn over. I've been very successful at turning FBA back into African Americans. I've been very successful. Trust me, I get a lot of emails. I'm very successful of educating people out of FBA, because that's all that is required, is educating people out of FBA. Because FBA is basically a state of understanding. And then when you get up here, you elevate. That's the truth, right? Because you can hear the vocabulary of FBA and tell that they're not as educated as, you know, they could be. You know what I'm saying? So, but then you got some that's just hateful. And this goes for all of them, right? You got some that hate to hate. You got some that use YouTube as a medium for hate. And they don't understand how serious this is. This is not a game. This is not, we are real people. We're not characters that you can just play, right? And that you could just kill and then get another one. There's no revives, right? And it's easy for a lot of you guys to talk trash and threaten from the safety behind your anonymous YouTube channel. In the comment sections, inciting violence. A lot of you are inciting violence. And I'm not talking about on me. I'm talking about on others, because I'm always in the comment section. That's where the action is. You're inciting violence. A lot of you guys are drumming up emotions, and you're going to call somebody to do somebody to somebody. And then and then when you find out that something happened to that person, you're not even going to feel like you are responsible for it. Because it's like a collective, it's like a horde mentality. That's a real thing, you know. Right? You must allow, especially in this space, because you got the black space, you got that pro-black serious. I'm in the serious section of the black space, right? And because of that, my conversations are more serious, right? More consequential, the actions, you know. The decisions that we try to collectively make as black people are more consequential in this sector, right? And there are other people who are opposed to me, right? And they get threatened, and I see they get threatened. Or you get somebody who'll start a YouTube page, and they'll actively, because I seen some YouTuber, right? An African YouTuber who doesn't deserve to have a name, go well beyond what's normal. All right? Threatening physical harm against an entire group of people. Trying to collaborate with other degenerates, right? Or trying to promote discrimination against an entire group of people. When you start to do stuff like that, when you start to incite actual physical disunity and harm against another person, at that point, you're no longer qualified to be in the conversation. It's one thing to be passionate about your indifference with somebody else, right? It's another thing to step over that line and be hateful for the sake of being hateful. And there's some YouTubers out there that are actually hateful, and they have no receipts for their hate. You know, you got some people like me. Y'all notice, when I'm talking trash about Tariq, what do? I give a receipt. Therefore, you can see what I'm talking about, what's the issue, and then I prove that my issue is valid. That way, you can't say I'm talking shit just to be talking shit. Most of the people who are inciting actual hate, like actual physical harm, xenophobia, right, without receipts, they just talk, make accusations, but have no receipts for their fury, for their hate. And once I see someone does that, they're no longer qualified to be in a conversation. They get excommunicated by everybody, because then they create an environment that's supposed to be meant to build into a toxic environment that has no potential to build at all, zero, right? And the point of us online yelling at each other from several different videos, yelling at each other from live to live, is to ultimately at some point come to a consensus. Or if we're all going to the same destination in different directions with different routes, we're supposed to be seeing who can get there first, right? And then that doesn't mean that we don't help that person if something happens to them just because we don't disagree with them. We don't create actual hate. We don't have time for actual hate. We can be pissed off and mad, but we don't have time for real hate. We got enough people who hate us without receipts. We got white people who hate us irrationally because they're jealous of us irrationally. It's something we can't solve. We can't convince them otherwise, so we have to insulate ourselves. And we can't insulate ourselves if inside of us we have enemies from within that are actually promoting harm to the body of the black man, to the body of the black woman. We gotta be careful about the things that we say and produce on this here internet. We gotta be careful about the affirmations we put out there. You know what a curse is? When you curse somebody, when you cuss them out, you're cursing. When you speak it out and you call for violence, that is a curse. You're cursing. you're cursing them legitimately, not just cuss out saying the F word. You're cursing them. And then when something happens, it's because you put that energy out there. You create that energy. That's why if you notice, I don't create hate energy. Even when I'm passionate, I make it a point to not create hate energy, but passionate disagreement, right? You could be passionately disagreeable, but when you go to hate, you're not qualified to be in a conversation because your emotions and your egos have taken over. You guys got to understand, we YouTubers put a lot, especially people who make like real content. You got people who make content, you got people who don't make content, they make hate. And y'all know who they are. And then they gather all the hateful people and they have a horde of a hateful echo chamber where they produce and manufacture hate. And then when they go out here in this real world and try to apply that shit to the real world, something bad happens. Because if you produce hate, hate's gonna come back at you. That's why if you notice, even people who talk trash about me, right, on YouTube, for the most part, you can tell they don't actually hate me. It's real hard. I make it real difficult for people to make content on me because they can't come up with no receipts. When people be talking about they want to expose me, you can't expose something that's transparent. I'm unexposable because there's nothing you can say about me that I ain't already said out loud on purpose. Because I'm real. When somebody is real, what you gonna say? You can disagree with me, but you can't say I'm screwing anybody over. That's why I don't mind people calling me a scammer. Because my reputation precedes me. You understand? My reputation precedes me. Therefore, when accusations of scamming and grifting come along, I just chuck it up to, they ain't got no talent, they can't figure nothing out, so they got to come up with something. That's how I look at it, right? And I'll watch and see if they can at least be entertaining when accusing me of being a scammer or a grifter, right? Can they make me look like how good of a video is it, right? And I'll give it props. I'm like, damn, that was a pretty entertaining video. But when you make a video and it's pure hate, no entertainment, it's just pure unadulterated, didn't think about it, just pure ego, just a stream of hate and jealousy. At that point, it's like, first of all, I'm not gonna watch it any further because it's a waste of time. You're trying to curse me, right? And there's nothing productive about it. You created a non-productive piece of content that does nothing but create hate with no receipts or no justifications for that hate. You guys got to stop hating YouTubers. Stop hate. If you want to hate, put your face, put a profile picture. Put your picture on on your YouTube channel. And when you talk your shit in the comment section, let us see what your face look like. See if you can stand on that comment with your profile picture. And don't put somebody else's picture. Don't put a picture of a cat or a bird or goddamn hat and some dumb shit like. Put your face, put your real face, right? And stand behind the shit that you say. Because a lot of you are cowards and you can't put your face behind the shit that you say. That's what a coward does. They hide. They throw rocks and hide. A lot of you guys throw rocks and hide. A lot of y'all are trying to take shots and hide. I cannot respect that. Now, I do understand there's some content creators who are faceless for various reasons. And I understand that because a lot of YouTubers are in fields where they can't show their face because of the topics that you're talking about. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about you subscribers who take liberties to think that you can play with us like we're toys. Nobody here on YouTube are toys. The two YouTube creator, whether you like them or not, because everybody can't be pro-black and pan-African on YouTube. That would be boring. Sometimes I want to see some shit. I want to see some stupid ass, mindless entertainment. I want to know what some goddamn celebrity did, and I want to know what his girlfriend said about him yesterday. I like that shit too. We've been letting white people do that to us. It's about time that we at least, if we're going to do it, we might as well do it for ourselves. That's why I don't mind, that's why I'm not a square when it comes to black content. I understand, but as long as it's not in hate. We like to play. Like me. I play, as far as my shit talking goes, as far as a spades game. You guys have never heard me talk shit beyond the shit talking level of a spades game. And I'll bust all your asses. I'm just throwing that out there. I'll bust all your asses in spades. I mean, don't test it. All right. But if I was playing spades or Uno, and you already know, I'll bust your ass in Uno too. I'm just saying. Uno, spades, Monopoly, that kind of shit talking that we do as black people, it's fun, right? It gives us the ability to let it out, you know? That's the level of my shit talking. I don't go beyond that because I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. I've seen enough bad in my life. You understand? I have seen enough serious bad in my life. I don't need to see anymore. And I don't need to create anymore. And I don't need to create an environment where somebody want to go out and hurt somebody else. Because that's going to be on me because I inspired that. The word is mightier than the sword. You know what that means? The word is mightier than the sword. You see, you take one sword, right? You kill one person. And then you got to put energy to keep going, killing other people with the sword. But with the word, I can convince thousands to pick up the sword and kill thousands. This here YouTube is the word. So what you say out your mouth can have consequences that you will never see, good or bad. I pride myself on creating content or using my power of my word to benefit, motivate, and inspire others. And I've done that. And that satiates me. That's what I want. I don't want to say something that's going to get somebody amped up to go hurt somebody I got a disagreement with. Because that shit's going to be on me because I use my words unbeknownst to me to harm an individual, to take another individual's life. I done did that already. I don't want to take any more lives. I'm all about giving life. I got to make up for the shit that I did. You understand? That's what us warriors got to do. We spend the rest of our lives making up for the shit that we had to do. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to heal. Ask me about that. I brag about the good stuff that I do because that's something to brag about because being good is difficult, especially in a world like this. So I just need you content creators, not content creators, I need you subscribers to chill out and have a little bit of responsibility. Think about the things that you say before you type it. And when some of y'all get inspired enough to get on here and become a YouTuber, keep that in mind. Don't become hate. Because you know what I'm going to start doing? And I'm dead serious. If I see some real hate, I'm going to report you. I'm going to use the power of YouTube and I'm going to report your channel. Because if you sow actual hate that can get somebody hurt or harmed, I will go to you to impress, harassment. I will pick the proper term and I'm going to do it. Now, I wouldn't do it if you're just talking shit about me or talking shit about somebody. That's different. But when you start, once you cross that line and start asking for hate, when you start trying to build an army to be hateful towards an individual group, that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. And I will report you. And I encourage everybody to start reporting these irresponsible content creators who do such things, who cross that line. Because a lot of these content creators who cross that line would never say that in the people they're talking shit about's face. They wouldn't do it in real life because they're cowards, hiding behind their camera, hiding behind the fact that they think that they can't be touched because they're in an undisclosed location. Do you understand this is 2026? I can find anybody. I can find you. If you don't, listen, I'm telling me, I happen to have the capability and friends who most definitely have the capability to find you, even if you are an anonymous YouTuber. If you are making a comment in the comment section on your YouTube with no profile picture and you talking shit, I guarantee you I can find you in 42 hours. I can find your house. I can find where you work at. I can get your social security number. I can get you. You understand? Because it's not hard. You think you're hiding, but you're not hiding. You think you're safe, but you're not. Trust and believe. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard to find out who you are, what you look like, where you work at, what kind of car you got, all that. And people do that shit. So y'all need to keep that in mind. You ain't as safe as you think you are behind that anonymous screen you got there. And for you YouTubers, most definitely you can be found. Whether you showing your face or not, you can be found. If somebody want to find you, they can find you. And that's true. And I know, like I said, I can find you. I just don't have no need to find you because I don't want to do anything. I don't want to harm you. But understand, there are people who will. Because they do. Because some people can't take getting talked shit about. Some people can't handle it. A lot of people can't take criticism. A lot of people can't take criticism. So that's all I wanted to say. This is my talk to you, all right? Listen. Don't make me have to whoop your ass, all right? Just let you know I can do it. Anyway, You guys tell me what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.